Welcome to another episode of TorchLight News. I'm Kayla Grainer. We hope you all had a wonderful spring break and are excited to be back on Rocky Top. This week, teachers and students joined at the Torchbearer to protest the UT Focus Act proposed by Governor Haslam on Thursday. The proposal seeks to reduce the number of people on UT's Board of Trustees and monetize the responsibility of the board. This plan also seeks to bring UT more in line with the governing bodies of other four-year universities. The bill would reduce the current Board of Trustees at UT from 27 down to 11. If approved, the current board would be vacated on June 1st and reconstituted to consist of one ex officio member, the Commissioner of Agriculture, and 10 voting members appointed by Governor Haslam. In 2016, UT's Pride Center lost its government funding, but this encouraged alumni, along with the help of Chancellor Davenport, to start a program to try and raise that money privately. TorchLight reporter Joseph Staten talked with director of the Pride Center to find out more.
Pride Center is one of the very few areas on campus where people really can be themselves.
At the University of Tennessee, the Pride Center is known for providing support and outreach to students, with a focus on the LGBTQ community.
It really is where you can be yourself. You can be as uncool, as nerdy as you want, and people will still love you and accept you.
However, when lawmakers cut funds of almost $500,000 to the office which funds the Pride Center, its future was unclear.
Currently, we're privately funded, which means we don't receive public funds through the state government like the rest of the campus, or most of the rest of the campus does. So we use private funds, which are funds that are donated to the university.
That is until UT alum Chad Goldman and Chancellor Beverly Davenport launched Vol Means All on February 1st, 2018.
Endowment campaign is actually a really awesome thing because it means that hopefully we'll be privately funded for eternity. And to me, I think it really does speak to its outreach and its impact, because the people that are leading this endowment campaign are alumni of the university. They went here before there was a Pride Center, before there was really widespread support for the LGBTQ community. So, you know it's really coming from their hearts. They went here, they were bullied when they were here, or maybe they weren't able to be out when they were here. They were able to be themselves. So when they see that this resource that they...
A fundraising campaign with a $3 million goal seeks to fully endow the program into the university. Pride Center coordinator Bonnie Johnson spoke on what the campaign means to the Pride Center.
I think it really fits in with what we try to train our students to do, and what I myself am doing as a coordinator, is that really being the person you needed when you were younger and helping fund the things that you needed when you were younger. And I think our alumni in particular have really stepped up when it comes to funding us to do that.
She also talked about what the center means to the students.
But really, I think it's the students, the LGBTQ students on our campus that really keep the Pride Center thriving. They bring such a passion and an energy and a dedication to this university that surpasses many staff members I know whose job it is.
You can follow the Pride Center on Twitter and Facebook at UTK Pride Center. For TorchLight News, I'm Joseph Staten.
Vol Means All fundraiser was able to raise $300,000 for the Pride Center in the first 10 days and is still pursuing its goal. It's that time of year again. Campaign season is here. Although voting doesn't start until April 9th, campaigns are in full force, posting, recruiting, and talking to organizations about their plans. This year's election consists of 3 campaigns. The first of the 3 campaigns is Together We Are UT, consisting of presidential candidate Dalton Teal, vice president candidate Xavier Greer, Student Services Director candidate Maddie Stevens, and Board of Trustees representative candidate Maya Bryan. The next campaign is Imagine UT with presidential candidate Ovi Kabir, vice presidential candidate Haley Page, and Board of Trustees representative candidate John Calvin Bryant. Lastly is Vote Jab, which includes presidential candidate Jack Larimer, vice presidential candidate Avery Morgan, Student Services Director candidate Blaine Ziegler, and Board of Trustees representative candidate Charles Weber. Over spring break, a group of students through the Society of Professional Journalists traveled to New York City. TorchLight reporter Savannah Smith was part of the group and documented the adventure.
From March 11th till the 17th, 14 journalism students got to network and chat with different alums of the University of Tennessee while spending time in the heart of New York City. Chaperoned by Professor Catherine Luther and Professor Stuart Brotman, students got to dive head deep into the real world of journalism.
It's so important to travel to a place like New York City and really engage with those who work in the profession currently. And a lot of the people that you spoke to, not a lot, but a majority of the people that you spoke to also are graduates of our program. So it kind of gives you insight into what opportunities exist in the future.
While on their tour, students were also given the opportunity to learn about the company's different internship programs and how they can get involved and have a career there. Other events the students took part in included attending The Tonight Show with Seth Meyers and being audience members for Good Morning America and The Today Show.
It's a great way to make connections because in this industry, it's all about who you know. And this was just an amazing way to meet a bunch of potential employers and contacts. So I would absolutely recommend it, yes.
Great time, and if you or anyone you know went somewhere cool over spring break, make sure to share it with us. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you for watching us on TorchLight News, and make sure you stay up to date on all your UT news by following us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at TorchLight UTK. Shining light on UT News, I'm Kayla Grainer. Have a great week, UT.
I am majoring in journalism, electronic media. I'm one of the executive producers on Vol Talk, and I'm also a member of the commercial production unit. How professional it is like the biggest surprise, because this is all a bunch of students coming in here. You know, we have faculty members that like advise us, but at the same time, it's all student ran. Every decision's made, it's made by the students, and how professional the atmosphere is. At the same time, it's still enjoyable and fun. It's a great learning experience. What's up? What's up? I've always enjoyed being on the sets. It's always like a second home to me. I always feel at home. This is what I want to do. I started out as like an audio guy. I was in charge of making sure all the guests were mic'd properly and the levels were appropriate. Hey Justin, can you count to 10 for me? Did that for about a year, and then like my third semester started in a producing role and just helping out with during the set, like making sure all the cameras were where they needed to be, and we had all the materials we needed for each show. The executive producer now, we're making sure the whole show's ready to go, and just to be able to step into like more of a leadership role and actually take on the responsibilities of getting the show off the ground has been kind of stressful at times, but it's been a great experience to learn this here, besides going out in the real world and just like being thrown in the fire and not having any background or any experience beforehand. To know how to like conduct myself in a professional environment while still maintaining having fun and getting the job done is something that I probably could not have replicated anywhere else on campus.
Welcome to another episode of TorchLight Sports. I'm Joseph Staten.
And I'm Thomas Poe.
Well, to start off with basketball, the Vols played 2 games in the NCAA tournament, winning one and losing the other.
Yeah, the Vols beat Wright State pretty handily, 73-47, with leading scorers Admiral Schofield and Grant Williams.
The Vols took an L against Loyola Chicago, a team who has pulled off 2 upsets now, and we lost by 1 point, 62-63. Leading scorers were Admiral Schofield with 14 points, Jordan Bone with 13, and Grant Williams with 12. In the game against Loyola Chicago, we went into it starting without Kyle Alexander, who is out with a bone bruise on his hip.
Yeah, the Vols played really good in the opening minutes of the game with John Fulkerson getting the start. Normally doesn't play that much, but he did good for when he played.
No, but he never plays strong in the paint.
He doesn't play strong in the paint.
And that's where we miss Kyle Alexander.
He doesn't play as strong as Kyle Alexander. He doesn't have his length. He doesn't have his instinct. Admiral Schofield did pick up 2 early fouls, which led him to getting took out when he was starting hot, opening the Vols with the first 10 points of the game.
And Trevor Daniel went scoreless this game, and he's usually somebody who comes in, gives us that extra spark, and we missed that in this last game. Probably could have helped us over Loyola.
Yeah, SEC Sixth Man of the Year, Levante Turner didn't show up either.
Did not show up.
And women's basketball, the Lady Vols also went out in the second round to They beat Liberty in the first round, and they went out against.
And for the predictions for the NCAA tournament, UK, Villanova, GU, and Duke seem to be the top 4 for the Final Four.
I personally still have Duke winning my bracket.
You have Duke in yours?
Marvin Bagley's beast inside and led by the senior leadership of Grayson Allen.
All of my brackets are busted. I had Virginia going all the way.
How many brackets did you make?
I made 6.
I made 6 brackets. I made 2 brackets. One with the Vols and one with Duke.
4 of mine had the Vols winning. Those 4 are done. Villanova, hopefully, is my last hope in this.
Last hope.
Yeah. So, Vol football is next for us. Recently, we had Pro Day for our seniors going into the NFL. What did you think about our prospects?
I think John Kelly is one of the best running backs available in this year's draft, so he should go very high. Trevor Daniel is the most underrated player in the draft. He should go very high despite only being a punter.
You think so?
Yeah.
I have to agree with you about John Kelly, but I will say the one aspect that he needs to work on in this year's draft is he lacks that beast mode characteristic that you see a lot of running backs have with that extra explosiveness. And that's not to say that he lacks speed or skill, but you can definitely tell through watching game film and things like that John Kelly is very hesitant when he goes up to a hole. Like, he'll really, dance behind the line.
Going up against prospects like Saquon Barkley and Geis from LSU,
it's tough competition.
2 monsters at running back. So, but he's still a very talented prospect.
We have Rashawn Golden, a cornerback prospect out of Tennessee. What do you think?
I think he has character questions, definitely but talent, Alabama game. But talent-wise, I think Rashawn Golden's made it. He's going to make one NFL team very happy.
Definitely. Moving on, we have Evan Berry. Think he can be his brother? A little less, a little more?
I think he's lined up at wide receiver in his pro day, and he's always shined on special teams. That's where he's going to make his pro career, on special teams. He won't play defense. He might end up playing wide receiver for an NFL team, but he's going to shine on special teams.
My draft comparison for him is Devin Hester, and that really goes off what you said for the special teams thing.
Yeah, he's always shined on special teams.
And then I guess we have Khalil McKenzie, lastly.
Khalil, he came in as a 5-star prospect, but he never really reached his full potential at UT.
Never got the experience he needed.
No, he was hurt his freshman year, and he came in with so much hype, and then he just underperformed. Underperformed is the word I'd give Khalil McKenzie. Maybe NFL scouts are more excited about him than UT should be, but he's something.
Well, speaking of prospects, we also started spring football on Tuesday. How's the new team looking?
I'm very excited about this season. Juwan Jennings is returning. We got the transfer, Keller Christ, from Stanford. I'm very excited about him. It'll be interesting to see who's the starting quarterback between him, Jaron Garantino. Will McBride got a few snaps last season. So we'll see how that turns out. But I'm very excited about Coach Pruitt.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see Garantino and McBride kind of battle it out this spring football without the presence of Christ.
Yeah, I think Christ is actually going to be the favorite as soon as he shows up on campus. It's just Garantino was talented, but he was on his back half the season.
True.
Same with Will McBride. They couldn't protect him. So maybe Pruitt will come in, shore up the offensive line. He's been out recruiting like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
He's got so many players. With the situation he came into was just not good.
Well, thank you for joining us for TorchLight Sports, and make sure you stay up to date on all your UT news by following us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at TorchLight UTK.